When asking Dr. Jeannie Ludlow of the Women's Studies program if she believed there was a war on women, this is what she said.
Maybe, but I hate that language because
That's what Dr. Schultz
it's
said.
so masculinist and it's so competitive. And I think that a lot of the things that get put in the category of war on women are not part of it.
She went on to say how she believed politics play a huge role in the quote-unquote war against women.
Now, there are a few people who I think have a very narrow-minded and very strong and very well-funded agenda.
Okay.
That makes me really, really nervous, Mayo. But speaking of politicians and lawyers, most of the money for the anti-abortion movement comes from about 3 large organizations in the United States. And yes, most of them are started by, a lot of them are still led by men, but there are lots of women in their higher ranks as well. You know, lots of women in leadership positions there. So it's not really about gender so much. It's about having money, and it's about having a very strong set of opinions about what a woman's body can and cannot be used for.
When referring to the war on women, Dr. Ludlow explains how it is a one-sided affair.
So, you know, war makes it sound like we're shooting back,
Yeah.
and I have to say, I never seen an abortion provider shoot back at anybody. I just haven't. I do know providers who carry guns for their own personal safety. So war makes me nervous for lots of reasons as a metaphor. I also worry about the people who are in real war. The people serving in Afghanistan, the people serving in Iraq until recently, people whose lives were changed by their experiences in the Balkans in the 90s. What does it feel like to them? For someone like me to say, these lawyers have a war on women, when they know what it feels like to have people dropping bombs on your head.
She explains the different meanings that the word war can have.
I sort of euphemizing their experience, making it seem less bad than it was by calling this a war too, because I don't want to do that. I want to honor what they've been through, not make it sound like it's the same as having protesters outside your clinic.
Instead of calling it a war on women, Dr. Ludlow says she would think of it more as a conversation.
I guess the way I think about it is I think about it as a conversation. And some conversations go well and some conversations don't go well.
Dr. Ludlow explains the goals of a group that she is a part of and their mission to change the way people view the war on women.
I belong to a group called the Abortion Conversation Project. And our goal is to try to change the way people talk about abortion in the United States. We're tired of this old, I don't want to say debate, right, because that also is this. We're tired of the debate model, we're tired of the war model, and we don't think it helps anybody. It doesn't help the women in the clinics, it doesn't help the doctors or the nurses or the people working in the clinics. And it doesn't help the anti-abortion people either, because they just look as bad as anybody else when they act like that, you know. So what if we could all just have conversations about it instead of fighting all the time?